Welcome, race fans. The off season is over. We are going racing tonight here in the Dixon's Barbecue Truck Series. We have a wonderful season for you coming up. The anticipation, the hopes of the drivers will never be higher than they are tonight. Today, I will be announcing for you. My name is Gerald Campbell, and the producer we have tonight, David Huckleberry. Also with me, our side commentary, Ethan Burrell, and our little off-track reporter, my lovely wife, Dr. Erica Campbell. Real quick, I wanted to go ahead and do a shout out for Dixon's Barbecue, a wonderful sponsor for us tonight. They do a lot of barbecue and catering in the Virginia area. And this is Daytona. This is what every driver comes out with, the dreams and aspirations of a track that they want to win at. There's no higher than here. As with me today, Ethan Burrell, who actually won his Gatorade duels, I guess you would say, for the Elite Cup Series just a few days ago. With me tonight, Ethan, you want to go ahead and give some of the people watching tonight kind of a idea of what's going to take to go out tonight and do what you have to?
Oh man, and a special night this is for the Elite Racing League's drivers and all you fans out there watching. Like Gerald said, this long off season finally over, and boy, what a way to start off the season at Daytona. And this race tonight, I mean, this can really set your season off, either really good or maybe not quite what you were hoping for. But it takes a lot of guts out here around the high banks of Daytona. I mean, it's a high momentum game of chess out here, and you just, at the end of the day, you want to keep it all in one piece and try to be the most aggressive and most clean guy out there. So it's going to be fun to watch these guys navigate through here tonight.
Yes, tonight's the Randy Dixon Memorial 250, 100 laps. There will be two stages, both 20 laps in, so we'll have stage at 20, 40, and then a 60-lap run all the way to the end, just long enough to see if we're going to have a fuel mileage run at the end of this. Qualifying's wrapping up, and as we go ahead and start showing the qualifying results here, I'll throw it over to Miss Dr. Campbell, and she'll give us a little bit of a rundown of the race here for us.
And thank you, Gerald. It looks like in the pole position we have Scott Crump, followed by R.C. Anderson in position 2. Coming in third, we have Chadwick Denton, and rolling out in the 4th position, Zach. Not sure the last name there. In the 5th position, we have Josh Robin, followed by Ethan Stanley, then Joshua Personette, Tom Dreiling, Sam Bootwell in position 9, Zach Evans in position 10, Tyler Fody in position 11, and William Harrington in the 12th position.
Well, we're going to see if we can get down. We're being a little stubborn tonight with our broadcasting. Here we go.
All right, and it looks like I can't see 13 and 14th position.
Here, 13th position is actually Dustin Durr. Fred Anderson is in 14th, and I'll throw the rest to you, Erica.
Thank you. So 15th position, Chad Frankenfield, followed by Robert Hill Jr. in 16th position, Kyle W. Walgren in 17th, Trey Holmes in the 18th position, Timmy Holmes in 19th. Rolling out in the 20th position, we have Michael Goodman, followed by Tate Lytle in 21st, Josh Freed in the 22nd position, Daniel Martinez in the 23rd position, and Justin Munsell in the 24th position. Okay. And 25th position, we have Brendan Madonia, followed by Brody Moore in the 26th position, Levi Zielinski in the 27th position, Joey Chapman in the 28th position. Rolling out in 29th, we have Ray Bricey, followed by Tom Bourne in the 30th position, Cole Mickret in the 31st position, Sean Ryan in the 32nd position, Harrison Talon in the 33rd position, Tristan Wood in the 34th position, Justin Bentley rolling out in 35th, and Alec Balvans coming up 36th position. Then we have Tyler Dixon in the 37th position, Josh Stolz in the 38th position, Michael Hossack in the 39th position. Rolling out in the 40th position, we have Dylan Jones, followed by Chad Thornquist in the 41st position, Ethan Reasoner in the 42nd position, Robert Morrison in the 43rd position, James Sauls in the 44th position, and in the 45th position, we have Matthew Weisty.
Yeah, we had a full field tonight, folks. We had quite a few drivers that actually had to go home. That's how you get it in the start of these seasons. A lot of drivers show up. Luckily for the ones here tonight that have qualified in, we're about to go green here at Daytona. I don't know about you, Ethan, but I think she had probably the best sounding voice out of both of us to be able to do that rundown. But
100%, 100%.
Yes.
It looks like they've actually extended the caution one more lap, I believe. They must have had a problem getting up to speed there, but it just gives these guys another minute or so to think about how they're going to tackle this race here. But man, I'm just so excited for these drivers. I'm fortunate enough to know the feeling, starting the season off, Daytona International. Man, it's going to be a blast for these guys.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you. I don't know if that one lap helps any of the drivers. For me, it always added more anxiety as you felt like you're gearing to go, and then you get that announcement that you're going to have one more lap to go back around. So it just kind of builds up the intensity, which is going to be good for us because that's what we want. We want the intensity. This is Daytona. This is probably the make it or break it for some of these drivers right off the bat, the beginning of the year. Nowhere else in sporting events do you have such the prestigious race of Daytona, or in Super Bowl terms, as you get in auto racing with Daytona to start the season off. So, yeah, these drivers are going to be coming back around. They're on the back straightaway now. Your leader right now, who qualified on pole, Scott Crump, he got like 4 or 5 last season of those poles. So, kind of starting off the season like he had done last season and already off to another pole qualifying start for him. That 4th place driver that we only got Zach for the name, that's actually Zach Roethlisberger. When you have a long enough name like that, iRacing seems to chop it off. I've never seen that, but then again, you don't have a name that long usually. So, but here they come around turns 3 and 4. And they were about to start off this season strong for this truck series. Again, the Randy Dixon's Memorial 250. Here they come. We'll wait for that pace car to drop off, going down pits, and at that point, Scott Crump, our qualifying pole leader, can leave at any time. Well, the pace car is off, and they're about to go green. And they're green here in the Dixon Memorial 250, where the racing gets good and the good gets racing, and we start the season off at Daytona. Coming down the front straightaway, it's 2x2. See if anyone's able to get out to an early lead. So far, it looks like the outside lane's staying pretty strong. I'm expecting that outside lane to be a key factor. It's Truck Series usually has a really good drafting package underneath them, which allows some of the best racing that you'll see at Daytona.
Yeah, most definitely, and we got a good mix of guys too here, and that's the beautiful thing about this Dixon's Barbecue Truck Series is, you get a good mix of veterans, good mix of new young talent into the league. So it'll be fun to see how these guys work through this thing here, and you see it's going to be a drag race here to lead the first lap of the season. How about that?
Yeah, you said it, as you stated, a good mixture of drivers. You got on the outside that just came across second, but just barely missed out on leading the very first lap of the season. That's R.C. Anderson. That's an IndyCar driver, real-life IndyCar driver out here with these drivers tonight. So that gives you kind of a sense of all different types of group and people will show up for this. The Truck Series is a little different than the rest of the series in Elite, as any new driver to Elite has to run through this series to be able to advance to the other series in Elite. Now, some of the top Elite drivers can drop down into this series, but if you're a rookie, you have to advance through this. So I believe, if I was looking correctly, 1/4 of the drivers tonight were rookies. So going to be interesting. There's a lot of unknowns out there with drivers and how some of them are going to race. So it's going to be kind of give and take here, I believe, early on to figure out who you're racing with.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look at that. Zachary Roethlisberger, a newer face in the Elite Racing League, at least in the Truck Series. And I mean, he's tucked right up on the back bumper of a real professional race car driver. So how cool is that for someone like that? You know, he started up in the top 5 and, I mean, helping out one of, you know, a real true talent in the racing world in R.C. Enerson. So, and they're still fighting for it. They're hanging on tough up on that high line.
Yeah, and again, we have a stage at lap 20. This is a 15 race season. It's 10 races until the start of the chase. So right off the bat, 10 races is not a very long time. You got to collect the points as quickly as possible. And the only way you can do that is to be running up front. The top 10 drivers that finish in on lap 20 get points. So you're not going to see too many people trying to be conservative. I'm sure there's a few of them running in the back there. Probably that's their goal, but there's a lot of points up to grabs early on in this race.
Yeah, most definitely. And like you said, I mean, 10 races to etch your name into the playoffs, that is not a lot of time to really make a name for yourself, but it is plenty of time to lose an opportunity. So none of these guys can really come out here to Daytona and just kind of ride around and you know, just kind of take it easy. I mean, there's big points, big important points on the line here. And, these guys, I think, are going to be giving it their all here later in this one.
Absolutely. And again, if you want to go about advancing yourself down the elite lineup and get yourself into the Xfinity and the Cup Series, you have to go through here. You're going to have people trust you. The only way you can be able to do that is to be able to run up front, get your name known, have people race around you, and get an experience of how you drive. We're seeing that with a few drivers early on here that have that old rookie banner on them as you get a, so far, double foul for the entire start of this race. Again, R.C. Anderson and Scott Crump in 1-2 on the track this entire race so far.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a lot of guys might kind of play it conservative and give each other lots of room here early in the race, but I think it's also one of the most important times to really find out the driver's tendencies around you. You know, I mean, in the first couple laps, you might see somebody that you say, okay, you know, maybe I don't want to be pushing with them at any point in the race. So a lot of these guys are kind of feeling it out, you know, finding somebody they're comfortable pushing, and it could really hold through for the remainder of this 100-lap race tonight. And look at that, R.C. Enerson clear to the lead finally. So we got a new official race leader. He is totally clear of that inside line, drops down the front stop.
Yeah, you're going to see that a lot tonight. That seems to be kind of like the unofficial way to go about making passes. Is you'll work that outside lane, push it really hard. That second driver gets really hot, and then once you clear that inside lane, you kind of drop to the bottom. It's not an official way of doing it, but that's kind of the unspoken terms of conditions when you run that outside. Is once you've cleared that bottom lane, you need to drop down so that driver that's been pushing you oh so heavily can be able to get some fresh air. But yeah, R.C. Anderson got to the bottom, but it looks like he's not going to keep the lead for too much longer here. Oh, 3 wide. Oh, back there.
Oh man.
Early on, we see the 32, that beautiful blue that he has on there. That's Dustin Durr. He actually started pretty far back, 13th, so he's being aggressive early on. Dustin Durr usually does pretty good here at Daytona, and yeah, he's not wanting to wait. He's wanting to go now.
Yeah, and he was followed through there by that 00 truck. Levi Zelensky, he was a longtime veteran in the Elite Racing League. He took a leave from the league for, I'd say about 2 years, and here he is back in, and man, he is being aggressive early here. He wants to get up to the front of this thing.
Yes, that just shows you, you know, the type of drivers here tonight are all different types. You got some that are real life veterans. You got Scott Crump, who's raced in the uplands of Cup and has won the Cup races before, and you got people that have dropped back and getting back into the racing side of things, like Levi. And it's just good to see good group of drivers here. I think this is going to be a wonderful season. As I'm not quite sure if everyone here tonight is going for the prestigious championship in trucks, but I feel like a good number of these drivers will be.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, look at that 93 truck of Zachary Roethlisberger up on the outside. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he just led his first career lap in the Elite Racing Dixon's Barbecue Truck Series. How about that?
It's good to get that early on, that's for sure.
Yeah, first 10 laps, that's a big confidence booster right there moving forward.
Absolutely. And again, we don't know the skill level of some of these drivers that are rookies. Some of these drivers may be an iRacing veteran for all we know. But again, if they're not known to Elite, they do have to start here, regardless of their iRacing prowess. So some of these drivers may have quite a bit of experience in these trucks, like Roethlisberger may have, as he's showing some incredible strength and good car control, able to have Dustin Durr right on his back bumper and being.
Wow, look at that! Oh, what a save!
Yes,
my goodness.
Roethlisberger did a fantastic job saving it, and actually cleared for the lead and was able to get down to the bottom. Probably not the way he wanted to do it, as his heart is probably racing right now. But boy, that could have been a big wreck there.
Yeah, and I mean, something like that all the way up at the front of this pack, that invites everybody in the field into danger. So what an incredible save by Zachary Roethlisberger, and what a great push by Dewar. It looked like he just got a little off center with that back bumper of the 93, and that is all it takes in his trucks to get him really light.
Yeah, I've seen Durr this whole Speed Weeks week that he's been on a tear. He's just gotten kind of this mentality that he's just gonna go out and just race it. He's not really worried about if the vehicle is gonna be there at the end. He's just wanting to make sure that he gets out there and leads as much laps as he can, as he now clears for the lead and drops down to the bottom. Again, we kind of figured that that's how this is going to play out. Again, the top drivers, to get up to the front, have to really push on each other and get their engine temperatures quite hot. And then once they're able to clear for the bottom, it's just kind of an unspoken word that they drop down. As they're pushing up there. Looks like that Ethan Stanley on the outside of the outside line there.
Yeah, and these guys might make it look easy, but yeah, to highlight what you were talking about is, you know, you can stay up high when you clear that inside line, but the driver behind you will not be happy, because it takes, I mean, they make it look easy, but it takes a lot of effort to really shove somebody up past the trucks on the bottom side. So by the time you give them that push and you get them way out there, your water temperature in the radiator is getting really high, and all of a sudden you're at risk of blowing the motor up due to overheating. So it is, you know, like Gerald had just touched on, it is kind of an unwritten rule that, you know, once he shoves you past that guy, you got to get out of the way so he can get that clean air through his grill.
This has kind of just been how the truck series has kind of handled that. So if there's any series that people will probably feel the most comfortable with knowing what they've got to do, it's here. As you know, you kind of go into it knowing how the super speedway package kind of runs with these trucks versus like the Cup series, where every time you go to Speed Weeks, it may be a completely different story. As it looks like Roethlisberger jumps to the outside and is going to
power move.
Run. Yes,
look at that. He's going to lead this lap too. It looks like just barely.
It's the easiest way to try to get up to the front is to run that outside lane. It's very dangerous, as you see. They're all tucked up right underneath each other. But they're looking at the laps as they are coming down to only having about 6 laps left in the stage. So again, top 10 getting points, and that's what we're focused on. Is just trying to make sure that they're up there far enough to receive those points to start off the season in a positive note.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight Zach Roethlisberger and Dustin Dewar, because we saw those two really shoot up to the lead and drop down pretty, it seemed effortlessly from the broadcast perspective, but ever since then, that high side hasn't quite had the momentum it did. But now we see Roethlisberger, you know, he jumped back up there, and we'll see if Thornquist can give him a big shot back up to the lead or not.
I do have to do a shout out for these drivers. I mean, we are 14 laps in, and the side-by-side racing is not just like the top 5 or the top 10 drivers. It's all the way back there. If you look back there's side-by-side all the way back, and a little bit 3-wide actually back there as well.
Yeah,
maybe
looks
a
like
couple
Josh.
drivers.
Looks like Josh Robin getting shuffled out. I'm not sure exactly what started that, but whether he wants to or not, is going all the way to the back of this line.
And that might be kind of a plan because, again, the laps are ticking down for the stage. The progression will tick up, of course. So if he's not running for a championship, there's no point in being up there. If you're not running for the full season, then you just might want to just show up for the win when it counts. But yeah, he might just be dropping back for that reason there. But again, top 10 right now have not slowed down. Dustin Durr's now able to kind of clear away, get up back up to the front. You can see
there goes R.C. Anderson.
Yep, jumping to the outside, able to get him clear enough of that outside lane to be able to jump right in front, and now it's going to rocket himself right back up to the front.
Yeah, look at all the momentum that high side built up just from that. It kind of closed all those trucks together, nose to tail, and they gave a huge shot to R.C. Anderson. So, you know, the veteran driver, he finally got an opportunity to jump out of line. He took it, and it paid off.
Yes, here we come to 4 laps to go in this stage. And again, first place gets 10 points all the way down to 9, 8, 7, 6, down to 1 point for 10th place finish. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of people really pushing to try to get up here to the front now.
Oh, yeah. Anybody that's anywhere near the top 10, I mean, they're going to be racing their guts out here coming to this stage break. Even though it's early in the race, I mean, those points are so valuable throughout the season that, you know, these guys are going to be fighting and clawing for every little point they can get. And unfortunately, that could lead to some crashes. Oh, man, Roethlisberger makes a late move. He pulled it off, but, man, later in the race, RC might not back out quite like that and let him in.
Yeah, it was just able to clear and be able to drop down to the bottom. But that outside lane is starting to pull up and be able to get up to the outside of him. But R.C. Anderson is right on his bumper pushing. He's doing a heck of a job pushing him, trying to get himself clear to be able to maybe jump back on to the outside and try to take the lead once again.
Yep, exactly. He's going to try to repeat exactly what he did the last time to bunny hop himself up back in front of Dewar, but it looks like Thornquist hanging strong with the push from Ethan Stanley on that outside. And look at that, Michael Goodman creeping up into the picture too. When the points are on the line, a lot of these guys inserting themselves in the situation to gain some of those points.
Yeah, Dustin Durr and R.C. Anderson jump to the outside now.
Oh,
that
man.
outside lane checked up just quite a bit, and now you
big shot.
Oh, yeah, that was Scott Crump onto the backside of Roethlisberger there as they come up on a lap car. Lap car's giving them plenty of girth, and then just dropping down to the bottom. Very good. Oh, and R.C. Anderson dropped back down. A lot of side-by-side racing there.
This is looking good for Dustin Dewar. If he can get a push, nope, Roethlisberger's going to clear and jump right back up. Oh, man, this is getting good. This is kind of a highlight or a preview of what we might see at the end of this thing.
You just got to be careful because one wrong shove. We've seen it with those two drivers on the outside last time they were hooked up. They got a little bit sideways. Again, a shove is good, but too big of a shove will cause mayhem, and that's not what you want. But here they come. We're going to have 1 lap left in this stage. And right now it's Roethlisberger and R.C. Anderson on the bottom.
Look at that. Dustin Dewar jacking up that 93 truck on the top. He might end up clearing into 1 here. Will he take it? No, he's going to stay up there. All right, this is going to get good here. Side by side, R.C. Anderson, Zach Roethlisberger for the lead here for the stage win coming down the back straightaway. Who gets the bigger push?
Right now, it looks like Dustin Durr is doing a heck of a job pushing, but they are so swirly when they do it. But you got 2 veteran drivers on the bottom, R.C. Anderson and Scott Crump. Scott Crump gives a heck of a job pushing in the middle of the turn. You really don't like doing that. It upsets the truck, but
here comes that exit run. And here they come.
Roethlisberger gets out to a little bit of a lead, coming to the line, and Roethlisberger is going to lead at the stage end here.
How about that? Well, what a cool moment for him, man. That's he led that lap early on in the race, and then he gets a huge shove from the veteran Dustin
That
Dewar, wins the first stage of the season. How about that?
Yeah, that's how you get your name out there. That's how you do it. Is you got to go out and race with those veteran drivers, the ones that have been there forever in the league, and they remember you. They remember when they get beat, and he just beat everyone. So that's the first stage, and if this is going to be a highlight of what the night has to offer for us, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and the best part, that black 93 truck, you're looking at your current points leader right there after that.
That is absolutely true. He's going to have 10 points to his name, more points than anybody else at this point in time. Real quick, we're going to throw it over to Dr. Campbell, and she's going to give us some of our series sponsor that brings this amazing event to us and allows us to be able to broadcast this out for everyone to watch.
All right, so first we have Powerhouse Recycling, which strives to offer the highest level of customer service in the industry for each load processed time and time again. Attainable account representatives, prompt and on-time pickups, and customized recycling solutions keeps Powerhouse Recycling as a North Carolina market leader in customer service. We also have Blue Egg, the marketing department for small businesses. And finally, C2 Freight offers complete freight management services. They're ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future.
Very good. What a mama, too. You can hear my son in the background trying to make noise, and she's doing a heck of a job keeping him under control. So she's doing everything tonight. I got to give her a hand. She's helping me out with this, and such a supporter for iRacing and everything. So good shout out to my wife there. She's having to take care of the baby and doing the announcements for us on some of the series sponsors. But here we're going to come back around, and we're going to find out if anyone's going to go down pit road. Maybe I believe they're going to have to come down for at least fuel. So yes, you do see all the drivers starting to pit down onto pit road as Roethlisberger leads us down. Now the question comes down to, do you take tires, or is it kind of a strategy of staying out front? If you take tires, you may have a little bit of better handling, but you also lose quite a bit of track position, as I'm quite sure a lot of drivers are going to opt to just do a fuel-only stop here.
Yeah, and it really tells you, on a stop like this, if there's guys taking tires, it kind of tells you about how they're feeling about the handling of their truck. So if guys are comfortable with how the truck's handling, they might just opt to do the fuel only, or other guys might say, well, you know what, we're pitting anyway for quite a bit of gas, so might as well slap some tires on there. Won't really affect the time of the pit stop too bad. So it's a big guessing game for sure.
Well, Roethlisberger must have felt pretty good about his truck then, because he took fuel only. But you had people like R.C. Anderson take tires, and a few people that just absolutely drove right through all of the all of the pit boxes and missed it. One of those is Levi Lazinski. He missed his pit box and just drove right through. But he's probably going to come back down, as he's the lone driver to have not done a pit stop at this point.
Yeah, that's a tough break, and one of the easiest ways, you and I both know one of the easiest ways to lose a race like this is on pit road. But thankfully for him, it's early. There's still going to be another guaranteed stage caution, so he's not completely out of this thing yet. Just a little setback.
Yeah, it's not like the LA Coliseum, where if you're all the way in the back, the passing would have been pretty difficult. Here at Daytona, if you got a fast truck and you've got the nerves of steel, you can work your way up pretty quickly. So luckily, he's probably just going to come back down and have to try to work his way back up through the field again. But he's got plenty of time. But yeah, as we stated, we got a full field. It looks like a few drivers may have had issues earlier on in the race. It looks like Michael Hozak is already 3 laps down. Robert Morrison 5 laps down, and a few other drivers. Tom Darling, he's a few laps down as well. So I'm not sure where
seen some nose damage on that 07 Michael Hozak machine. So definitely not how you want to start the season. But obviously, whatever the incident wasn't enough to trigger a yellow, but definitely a tough start to the year for him.
Yeah, we'll know when there's a big enough wreck. That yellow flag will come out for us, and I'm almost certain, Joel, at Daytona, whenever people start to figure out that saving their car is not as important as getting up through the field, we're going to probably see that yellow flag come back out a time or two. So as the pace car is got its lights off, indicating that it's going to be going green flag this time, looks like we have a who's the 19? Fred Anderson. Fred Anderson started 14th. He's on up to second here. So one of those drivers that more likely just took fuel only now has his name up at the front in contention for hopefully getting up there for stage 2.
That's definitely going to be interesting to see how these guys attack the start of the second stage. And a correction on my end. Chad Thornquist was in the 02. Looks like the 92 truck is Ethan Stanley. So I had those truck numbers mixed up there. My apologies.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Chad Thornquist he was a top 4 driver last season in the 92. So
big stack up.
Whoa. Big stack up on the bottom as looks like someone missed a shift.
Got one spinning in the grass.
No caution though. I'm not sure who it is.
Zach Evans off track.
Zach Evans is the driver that's off track in the grass there. Unfortunate for Zach Evans.
Oh boy, what a tough break for Zach. And it's one of those things that, man, that happened probably 10 rows in front of him, and he just caught the bad end of the stack up from that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. He was our broadcast announcer last season, and starting off this season going the wrong direction in the grass. As at least he won't have enough damage to really knock him out of the race, but he's gonna hope for his sake that he stays on the lead lap before the next stage ends, so that way he can catch back up. But if you want to watch him on his Twitch account, I'm sure he's probably throwing some gloves right now, as that probably is a little irritating for him.
And it looked like the inside front row, Fred Anderson, did not get going on that restart. Really stacked up that inside line, but just Zach Evans, I believe, was the only casualty of that. So the field made away rather clean for how bad that could have ended.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got lucky there. That was really the only incident we've seen so far this season, or for this race and this season, I guess. It's the start of the season. So I gotta say, it's been a very smart race for these drivers. Again, with half the field really not knowing each other, we're seeing a lot of give and take so far, but it is still pretty early, as we still have about 75 laps left of this race to go.
Oh yeah, there's plenty left to happen. A shout out to Justin Bentley, that 53 truck. I believe that's another new face in the Dixon's Barbecue Truck Series. He's up in the top 5. Whoa, what an aggressive block by Dewar.
To the outside, and I don't know how he cleared. There is no way he had anybody announcing that he was clear. He just made it clear. I think he scraped off some paint off the front bumper of Roethlisberger, and I don't know really why he decided to take the outside. It's not really going to help you make friends early on.
We'll have to see how Roethlisberger felt about that. Maybe later on he might start running that 32 truck a little hard, but they made it away scot-free so far, so tough, aggressive racing from that 32 Dustin Dewar.
Also, the last time Roethlisberger was nearly sideways in the front of the whole field, it was because the 32 was in front of him. So, yeah, he's probably not liking the driving style of the 32, just because it seems like anytime 32 makes some kind of move that seems kind of risky, it's usually right around the Roethlisberger. But again, you're getting you put right into the fire of Elite right now coming up front. So, I mean, you're going to experience being pushed around a little bit.
Yeah, and one thing worth noting, I'm seeing from that stack up on the start, I'm seeing a touch of front end damage on the 50 of RC Enerson and a little bit of rear end damage to the 90 of Scott Crump, and also the 15 of Chad Frankenfield's got a touch of nose damage. So they all look rather minor, but at a place like Daytona International Speedway, I mean, just any minor aerodynamic disadvantage to your truck can be a huge.
It could affect if you're leading, but not so much if you're back there in the pack. With how many trucks are on the field right now, the air is being interrupted so much that you could race with quite a bit further damage on there and still be able to keep up. It's whenever you decide that you're going to lead a line, be up front, where you're going to be the one pushing the air, is where it affects it a little bit and tends to have people. So the damage early on definitely could be a hindrance on if you can find anyone to really help you if you decide you're going to move to the front.
Yeah, another one I'm noticing, Sam Boutwell, he's got rather significant rear bumper damage. So, yeah, like you said, I mean, the drivers around you see some damage on your truck. You know, you try to hop out, lead the line. Well, they might just not want to go with you because they don't feel comfortable. That they don't trust in your truck being able to get them to where they need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you get an idea of what these drivers see whenever you're pushing onto the back of it, we're going to have David Huckleberry here. Let's see if we can go on board the 19 of Fred Anderson just to get a good idea of what the driver sees when he's behind someone. And the answer is not much. You see a big spoiler and really not much in front of him. Maybe just a little bit of a view from his windshield. But when you're on the back bumper, you're totally relying on the driver in front of you to try to figure out what he's doing. So when there's a checkup, like we saw Dustin Durr when he jumped up, there's no way that Fred Anderson or some of those drivers in front could have seen that. So you're going to have these checkups where you're going to have front end and back end damages from the checkups. It's just the movement when you're going 190 miles per hour, you're just not going to have time to be able to really judge what's going on when you have a 20-inch spoiler like you see on these trucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, kind of like that restart. I mean, you don't always know what's going on 2 or 3 trucks in front of you because, I mean, you really just, especially these trucks, that spoiler is so tall and, you're expected to tuck right up on the back bumper of somebody, but, I mean, you're just hoping that they're going to lead you in the right direction. If there's a wreck up in front of them, they swerve around it. You just try to follow them the best you can and hope for the best. But, man, further back, I'm noticing this 9 truck. Getting some huge runs. Yeah, he's ripping the fence up there. It looks like the 62 truck, that mellow yellow machine, trying to get up there with him. And boy, that could dice it up. Oh, there's contact.
There's a little contact, and somehow they save it.
Wow.
I don't know how many times I've seen that happen, and it usually turns one vehicle in front of the whole field. It's very rare that you see them make contact like that, and they keep going. That was some pretty severe side-by-side touching there. And that's one issue you have when you try to make it 3 wide is, again, these trucks, they're not stable. They're not going completely straight. They're zigzagging a little bit, and it just takes a little touch like that to end up ruining the whole day and throwing you into the outside fence. But luckily enough for the 9 car, he might have a little bit of damage from the wall, but nowhere near as bad as it could have been if that vehicle had turned in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's gonna be okay. He's gonna have some repairs to make on pit road, but yeah, that could have been way worse. Oh yeah, look at that.
Racing as they're coming up on some lap traffic. Looks like the lap traffic is going to stay way wide and up against the wall and let the drivers go down. Again, 3 wide is not uncommon here. It's just kind of risky to take a chance because, again, this is iRacing. This is virtual racing. A little touch may seem like a little touch, but in virtual racing, it can turn a driver completely around in front of the whole field. Even just a tap on the door can end up just sending a driver flying down the back straightaway and flipping. So, again, you have to be careful with how much you're going to push it early on. Oh, as you see Scott Crump getting turned around. He is going to be able to keep it off the wall, but that's going to just ruin his chances of being up there for the stage end. No caution. It happened as it was underneath the racing line, so iRacing did not throw a caution. Here in the Truck Series, they follow all iRacing protocol, so if iRacing doesn't throw a caution, you don't get a caution. Scott Crump is going to end up falling completely outside the top 30 as we have 5 laps, or 6 coming to 5 laps to go in the end of this stage. And as you see, they're pushing and shoving. I think that was Dustin Durr that may have gotten into the back of him and sent him around there.
Yeah, and that's one happy camper with the fact that there is a stage break coming up because, man, that could have really ended his race had there not been a guaranteed yellow coming. But He should still be able to stay on the lead lap. You know, he'll get that caution in about, looks like 5 laps here, so he'll be all right. He'll just have to figure out how to pick his way back through the field. But back up front, though, Dustin Dewar, Zachary Roethlisberger, I mean, these guys are really holding it down up here at the front of this pack, and they have not gotten shuffled back yet.
No, again, it's been 2 by 2. We haven't seen the desperate battle for 3 wide or the desperate shooting down the gap of the middle just as of yet. We may see that later on as we get closer to the end, but so far it's been a steady pace for a few of these drivers consistently up front. As you see Roethlisberger running that outside lane, not even looking to really jump down to the bottom anymore. He's decided that the outside lane is where he's going to stay. And again, it's kind of an untold thing for drop down to the bottom because the second driver gets really hot. And we're going to have to watch out for the 19 as he may end up having to try to tuck his nose outside the back of the 93 just to be able to get air into the front of the nose before he ends up blowing up. As you see right there what he's doing. Again, he has to tuck it out just a little bit to be able to get some air to the truck to cool it down. And all that does is end up throwing the outside lane.
And speaking of the outside lane, it's really coming to life here. Ever since that Scott Crump incident, they got quite a bit of momentum rolling up there, and looks like that bottom line was starting to lose a little bit. They're not quite formed up as well as that top line, so we could see possibly a couple trucks get clear out here.
Yeah, I believe that's Justin Bentley on the bottom, 53. Not quite up to the back of Dustin Durr to be able to give him a shove, to be able to get him back up to the front. It's close enough to at least be able to keep somewhat pace into the vehicle or into that bottom lane, but nowhere clear of the lead so far.
Yeah, and you just see how hard that 19 truck is pushing Zach Roethlisberger up there, and boy, he's been committed to him so far. But Fred Anderson, he's gotten himself clear of that bottom line, so don't be surprised if we see him kind of chop down to the bottom, try to take the lead away from this 93. But so far, he's sticking with him. Oh, look, there goes the 92 doing it.
Yeah, Sam decided to drop down to the bottom. He's going to have Dustin Durr behind him, and they're going to have 2 laps to be able to see if they can be able to push their way up to the front. Dustin Durr's not been shy so far this night on pushing, as I believe he sent Scott Crump around, so he may need to figure it out a little bit better on how to push, but pushing hard right now is what he's going to do. So we're going to see if Ethan Stanley's going to be able to get up to lead this race for the first time.
Yeah, and I really feel like the 19 truck, Fred Anderson, really missed an opportunity there, and Ethan Stanley jumped on it, and looks like he's gonna lead the white flag to this second stage break here. Oh, Dustin Dewar getting a little squirrely. Maybe Roethlisberger's not done. Coming back on the top.
Yeah, they're shoving hard. They got to be careful here. Again, this is only to end stage 2. Again, first place gets 10 points, so more points on the line, but they are really shoving really hard. Right now, I haven't seen an advantage for the high side or the low line as they come around the back straightaway to finish up this lap. This will be the end of the stage.
Yeah, this is going to get tight here through 3 and 4 coming into it. Sean Ryan back there still trying to set that high line up in that 9 truck, but it's all these 2 right now, or these 4 up here. Will the 93 get a big shot down the front straightaway? We will see who is going to get it at the line.
Yeah, coming to the line again. Another side-by-side finish for the stage end. Who is it going to be? It is Roethlisberger. Once again, getting
How about that?
win. 2 wins in a row now for Roethlisberger, and you're wondering why the 19 didn't drop down. Well, that would be because their teammates. So, yeah,
see,
actually,
only a teammate would stick with you, man. He had the door open for him to try to take it himself. He stayed committed to his teammate, and look at that. His teammate gets the stage win.
Usually you see that from those Pro Edge drivers. They usually get, and then they'll wreck each other on the last lap usually.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it goes for the Pro Edge. It's kind of like a insignia for them at this point. That's just kind of how they race.
Yep, we just build each other up just to tear each other down coming to the finish there. You know, got to stay humble.
Oh, yeah. Just, yeah, so that is the MNT Motorsports. That is Fred Anderson, Justin Bentley and Zachary Rothersberger. All three drivers finished there in the top 10. I believe, all in the top 6 actually. So far, that team has been very aggressive. Again, all rookies. That team is a field of rookies, and they came out tonight to race hard to go for the win, it looks like.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, this team is doing exactly what every team hopes to do at the start of the season. They've been stout. They've had all their trucks up there running at the front. One bolt the first 2 stages. Now they're going to be setting their sights on winning that final one, which is the checkers here.
Yep. Zachary Rothersberger came in first, Ethan Stanley in second, Fred Anderson in third, Dustin Durham fourth, Michael Goodman in fifth. Good job for Michael Goodman there. Sixth was in Justin Bailey, Chad Frankenfield, former champion, in seventh, R.C. Anderson in eighth, Levi Lazinski, who we saw missed his pit stall last time, was able to get up to ninth and be able to score at least 2 points there. And Tyler Fody, also a past champion, finishes in 10th. So there goes your points. I don't believe Chad Frankenfield or Tyler Fody will be receiving any points, as I don't believe they're allowed to run for the championship since they are past champions. So kind of the rule here in Elite. If in the truck series, this is a starter series, if you win the championship, you don't get no points anymore at that point.
Yeah, what a drive by Levi Zielinski in that 0-0 to get back up in contention. I mean, he only had, about 18, 19 short laps to do so. So he was really slicing it up, getting back in position up there.
Well, we made that statement as someone just slammed the inside pit wall.
Uh-oh.
I believe that was the 19 Fred Anderson.
Oh, no. Man, he's been having a great run. We started talking about him, and look what happened.
He took fuel only, so he's not going to lose too many positions. But, that's a mistake. I think he probably just locked up the brakes there and slid right into the outside or inside pit wall there. But, like you were saying about Levi Lazinski, we stated if there was any track you want to have that happen on, it would be here, as it's a lot easier to pass here than most tracks. So, in 20 laps there, he was able to get all the way back up into the top 10. So good job for him and his chase hopes.
Yeah, and one guy you touched on it a little bit, but I want to highlight Michael Goodman. I mean, every time we've looked at him, he's been another spot or two higher up the grid, and now he's gotten right up into the battle in the top 5, and he's got his teammate Dustin Dewar up there for Do Good Motorsports. So if those two get hooked up, I mean, we could see them really putting a fight to those other guys that have been fighting for this thing so far.
Yeah, a lot of storylines. It's very interesting race so far. We're going to go back over to Dr. Campbell here, and she's going to give us our series sponsors. Again, we thank those series sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't have this truck series and this broadcast being able to show off all these talented drivers that we've got here tonight. So we real quickly want to go ahead and have her do the shout outs for them tonight, and again, we appreciate them so much.
C2 Freight offers electronic data interchange (EDI) services, which allows shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. For more information about EDI services or to discuss your needs for other specialized services, please contact C2 Freight. We also have Blue Egg Marketing, which is your marketing department. And finally, Powerhouse Recycling believes in quality customer service before, during, and after the processing of a client's materials. So please keep these sponsors in mind.
Fantastic. So far, Erica, how's the racing been? It's been pretty clean. Do you think that's how it's going to end tonight, or do you think these drivers are going to start stepping it up a little bit as they come to the checker flag?
Well, I imagine that some of them may have been holding back a little bit, but I did want to ask, I was a little bit surprised to see that there is this kind of 2 different lanes right now of racing. What I remember of a lot of restrictor plate tracks is that they tend to get kind of single file. So do you expect for this to continue where there's an inside and an outside lane?
As we stated, that's a good question. In some series, you're not so familiar with the vehicle, they end up staying on a single lane. But here in the truck series, again, these trucks are pretty familiar for most drivers in iRacing. and they feel fairly comfortable with him. So, yeah, the more comfortable you are in the vehicle, the more aggressive you'll see this. They're going to be coming to green flag here as Dustin Durr on the bottom. He's going to go ahead and take off. And we're back green as now we have the 40 of Tyler Fody, past truck champion, is now decided to make his presence known and is going to lead that outside lane.
Oh yeah, and a decorated speedway racer in that 40 truck there. Tyler Fody, a veteran out here, one of the best at getting up there and staying up there, and you had to expect him to make an appearance up at the front of this pack at some point. And a shout out I want to make. Unfortunately, Chad Thernquist, it looks like he had lagged out, disconnected from the server. So a championship 4 contender, one short season ago, not having the start to the 2022 A season he was hoping for.
Well, he had a couple of good races last season. He won 2 races, so Chad Thernquist has a definitely ability to be able to go out and win. And all it takes is for you to win to be able to lock yourself in. So Chad Thernquist's season is not over by any means. I have a great confidence that he'll come out strong as the season goes on. But right now you're seeing that bottom lane starting to kind of file out a little bit here as that bottom lane is going.
Yeah, and that top line really fell back. And how about this? Tyler Fody being pushed by Chad Frankenfield on the high line. So, but boy, look at the run they're getting. RC Anderson pulls out of line. Big shove from Fody. I was going to say kind of 2 nemesis drivers being forced to work together here, but man, they made quick work of that gap, and look at that. RC Anderson already clear of that bottom line.
You may not like a driver, you may have disagreements with him, but you can always be able to see, as you see RC tuck to the bottom, got a little bit of shove in the tri-oval, which gets you quite loose. But back to what I was saying, you may not like a driver, but if you know his talent levels, and you know that's the best way to get up to the front, you'll work with just about anybody. So that's what we see with Chad Frankenfield and Fody. They've caused quite a few cautions together throughout this series that they've raced with, but they both are pretty experienced, and they both know that their best chance for getting up there is to work together right now.
Boy, we almost had a moment down the back straightaway. Dewar got a little bit too far to the right side of that number 50's back bumper. Almost could have sent him spinning up in front of Tyler Fody and Frankenfield, but they keep it straight for now. And boy, Frankenfield tucked right up on that 40 truck, and let's see, didn't quite lead him at the line, but boy, they're going to have something to say about the lead down this back straightaway, I believe.
Yeah, again, it's just incredible driving so far tonight. I'm gonna jinx it and say it, but we haven't seen the pileup, but we haven't seen non-aggressive driving. We've seen plenty of aggressive driving. In fact, I would say we've seen a lot of aggressive driving, but yet again, we still have not had the pileup that we are accustomed to seeing here at Daytona. So, not to say that it's not going to happen, as we are just about to reach halfway. So, still not even halfway of the race, but with 2 stages and points on the line, you would have thought you would have seen a little bit of contact and maybe some carnage, but so far, a lot of clean trucks on the track, which is only better for us as we've got so much good racing left ahead of us.
Yeah, it really has been an impressive showing. I mean, like you said, it's been a clean race. We haven't seen the big one yet. I mean, we're just about halfway. Ooh, big block by RC Anderson. But, I mean, these guys have been plenty aggressive. I mean, they've just been doing a great job with their racecraft, knowing the limits of it. And here's 2 guys that know how to push together. RC Fody.
Well, you got Do Good Motorsports also now jumped down to the bottom and helping each other. You were saying, got to watch out with Goodman and Dustin Durr. When they got hooked up, they were going to work with each other, and now here they are on the bottom. As they're now going to try to see if they can be able to get it to the outside. It looks like RC Anderson's not even wanting to get to the bottom. He's pretty content.
Oh, look at that. Two of them cleared.
He's content of being in front of Food.
Now we'll see. Does Dewar hop out of line here? Do they both hop out? They're both going to do it. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're going to jump to the outside. And as we would suspect of Chad Frankenfield, looking to try to make it 3 wide to jump in the middle. That's something that it would feel uncomfortable if we went to Daytona and that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. And unfortunately for Sean Ryan, he's the one that gets the brunt of that, and he's going to fall back a few
Oh
spots.
boy,
But
we're seeing
boy, look at
the
that.
duck into the dive, and as Fody jumps to the outside. But look who is in fourth in line on the inside. It was the gentleman that went backwards just about 10 laps
Yep,
ago.
look at that.
Scott Crump is back in the top 10. He decided that he is here. He is coming back to the front. He didn't like it back there.
Look at that. These guys traded. All of a sudden, Duguid's pushing on the outside now versus Tyler Fody and R.C. Anderson on the bottom. Will they be able to muscle past him?
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of pushing right now. Again, it's only halfway, gentlemen. We still got a ways to go, but they all want to lead laps. They all want to have the most laps underneath their belt, be up front. Again, you're seeing a lot of veteran elite drivers starting to work their way up to the front now, as again the race went on, and now you're kind of seeing the usual suspects if you come to an elite race.
Yeah, I'm seeing Frankenfield kind of peeking underneath that 44 of Michael Goodman. But Goodman kind of washes up a little bit, and Frankenfield's keeping it a little bit tighter, closer to that inside. So what do you think? You think he might stick it there and kind of bounce Goodman out?
If there's a way or a will, he's going to do it. Even if there's not a way or a will. The amount of times I've cursed Frankenfield's name as he's made it 3 wide on me at a super speedway is far too numerous. So yes, if he sees the inside lane there, he will absolutely make it 3 wide and make you have to lift out of the gas. So Goodman's gonna have to realize that he can't be given too much of a given that behind him is actually there to work with him. Chad Frankenfield's only there to work with himself right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I know there's the defending champions kind of little mini series they have going on. So is Daytona one of those events between Fody, Frankenfield, and Isabella?
I believe there is. There was a few races. We'll have to go maybe on the next caution to see. Again, the lineup is quite diverse in this truck series because they go from here to a short track then to a dirt track. Again, yes, the truck series here are going to go to a dirt track, not Eldora. They're going to be going over to Laney. Let me see. Yeah, Lanier.
Oh yeah, that'll be a show.
Oh yeah. So next race will be at Southern National on the 27th. They go from 1.5 mile super speedways, road courses to dirt track, Hickory, all different types of this truck series. At the end of the season, the winner of the championship has had to do some of the most diverse racing in a season that you can imagine. So definitely deserved for any of the winners or any of the chase contenders at the end of the season, as it is all different types of skill level and skill sets to finish out this whole season.
And shout out Timmy Holmes, that white and red 67 truck. He's holding his ground up here in the top 5. Yet another new face here in the Dixon's Barbecue Truck Series in the Elite Racing League, and boy, he's having a good solid run here.
Yeah, Ray Bracey in 8th place. Again, some of these drivers, rookies and new, they're having their own season too. Again, a rookie wins the rookie season as well. So these rookie drivers are also going up against each other for the end of this as well. But yeah, a lot of new faces, and so far, really clean racing. And I haven't seen too many of them making what's the word, Ethan? Not
crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, we'll go with that one. That's more cleaner. We're crazy in driving, so so far it's been very entertaining to watch.
One thing I want to touch on too, you kind of see this a lot at Daytona and Talladega, is kind of the second pack here. And, I'm noticing, the Zachary Roethlisberger, Josh Robin, Fred Anderson. Those are some guys that have been leading this thing. They're kind of hanging back just a little bit here. So
we are 3 wide right now for the lead.
Oh boy.
He just oh my goodness.
Man.
He has to have some kind of camera on the back bumper, because there's been times where there's no way he's going to clear that driver, and somehow there's if any bit of netco would turn his truck absolutely around. He scrapes the bumper off every time he clears a driver. The way he dives back in, he decided he was going to go around the outside. Unfortunately, leaves his teammate Goodman onto the outside of him for himself, as he was just able to clear for the middle lane in front of R.C. Anderson. So now Dustin Durr is back out front, and R.C. Anderson is absolutely pushing the back of him. I don't know, out of anger, but he's doing it regardless right now.
I could tell you from being in R.C. Anderson's shoes in that situation, you're thinking, all right, you wanted to move up in front of me so bad. Here you go. I'm just going to lay it into you. So he's maybe kind of testing him there down the back straightaway with those big pushes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dustin Durr probably, and to his benefit, I mean, he's been up front, so he's doing something right. I mean, he's leading a lot of laps and has been up front. We've seen some comers and some goers, and so far, Dustin Durr has been one of those that have been up front for the majority of them. But it's just it's a catch your breath moment every time I see him make a move.
Oh, yeah.
So, good on him. Again, he came out here with one goal, it looks like, and that's to win the race, and not really, he's not too worried about making friends.
Yeah, another tough break. Trey Holmes now scored 10 laps down. He had disconnected from the server, as well as Sam Beltwell, I believe. So a couple tough breaks for those guys. But we've still got, looks like 34 trucks on the lead lap here. So like Gerald had mentioned, I mean, this has been a pretty clean race so far, and you gotta start thinking, any lap here, you're starting to wonder, when's the big one gonna happen? Because, boy, it's rare for it not to happen at all in one of these Daytona races.
I'd almost say they were worried about fuel mileage, but to be honest with you, it doesn't look like they're worried about much of anything.
Yeah.
As again, they're 2x2 for almost the majority of the field. As again, I'm taken back on how clean and how aggressive they've been so far. I guess it's just a good testament to the crop of field we have for this season, but also, the setup in this truck. I mean, it's able to take a push, even in the turns, which in most series and most cars would absolutely turn a driver around, and yet we've seen no real driver get too out of control to lose the truck underneath them. So far, again, truck, series, driver, all together here has been producing a heck of a show for him.
Boy, I just saw your guy Josh Robin, that American Miller Lite number 8 machine there. He just passed about 5 cars by himself last lap up on that high side. So I think he was probably riding around, and he might be thinking, okay, it's getting about time to start pushing forward here. We got 40 to go.
Yeah, that's Josh Robin on the outside showing there his patriotic scheme there. The only driver for Aggressive Eagle tonight was able to make it in. Again, quite a few drivers did not qualify in. We made a joke earlier today. That's my driver. I run Aggressive Eagle, and Josh Robin's a heck of a super speedway. I have confidence that he's going to beat all 28 Pro Edge drivers tonight.
With how talented Josh Robin is at these super speedways, I wouldn't put it past him either. He is always stout here, and boy, I try to pick up on whatever he's doing in qualifying runs, because he's got hot rod under that thing.
It'd be nice if he told me how to get around and qualify. That's a trade secret that he gives out to nobody. So don't feel bad. Even if he was on your team, he would not tell you. But regardless, up front there, Dustin Durr is able to drop down to the bottom with Fody right behind him, able to clear out to the front. I'd love to know how many laps Dustin Durr. He has to probably be the lap leader so far in this race.
Oh, it's got to be quite a few. And last season was really a breakout season for Dewar, kind of in all the Elite Racing League series that he ran in. But man, what a way to start out the season so far. I mean, he has been stout tonight. He's made some real aggressive moves. Some may be questionable, but they haven't bit him up to this point, and he's still leading this thing, but under a charge from R.C. Anderson here on the top, being pushed by Frankenfield.
And 3 drivers that dropped back to the back that were running up front for both of those stages was that, what is the name of that team? Let's see, the MNT Motorsports. All 3 drivers of that, Tristan Wood, or not Tristan Wood, that was Fred Anderson, Zachary Roethlisberger, and Justin Bentley, all back in 18th, 19th, and 20th right now. Roethlisberger, the winner of stage 1 and 2, decided that there's no points on the line right as of yet, so he and his team have all kind of dropped to the back as you see this kind of this trickling single file line behind the big pack that are up front. Just kind of biding their time, maybe saving a little bit of fuel. Nothing to really race for right now as we've still got 37 laps left to go. There will be a green flag pit stop if no caution comes out. So they know that they're going to need to come down pit road. There's no real point of maybe racing up to the front. So that's where they stand. We'll see if they can maybe make a late race charge or if they can play out some kind of strategy. As if I remember last season, our winners were all three were teammates that were up front. The FRN group there, they ended up pitting way earlier than the rest of the field and was able to stay out and get up to the front and be able to pretty much just race between themselves. So be interesting to see what kind of strategy plays out this season. If they're going to be again some kind of pit strategy to end it, or if we're going to have maybe a bigger pack race for the end of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's a lot of guys buried deeper in the field too. We haven't even talked about yet that are usually serious contenders here at the super speedways. I mean, we got, let's see who we got further back here. They're a little ways off the lead pack, but it seems like they're kind of just riding it out, biding their time. But we're starting to get to the point where they're going to have to start moving forward. I mean, we got William Harrington, Josh Personette, Harrison Talon, Levi Zielinski, Daniel Martinez, Tate Lytle, kind of all back there just outside of the top 20. And there's a big chain of trucks there, but they're kind of just seem to be hanging out, kind of waiting for things to get crazy. They must be waiting for the big one as well.
Usually at this point in time, the front of the field's kind of shortened up, so we're usually almost 70 laps into it. We usually have cut down the field by quite a bit. We've still got 33 drivers on the lead lap. So
that's just incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible for this truck series so far. Just been green flag. Yeah, usually you'll see the leaders with hard racing collect up into a wreck, so you have this new crop of field working themselves up to the front whenever there's a caution, just because the front leaders were wrecked out. We haven't seen that tonight, so We've seen a lot of the same people up front so far. So yeah, who's to say they may end up their strategy falling on their nose if they don't see some wrecks staying back there for so long, anticipating a wreck. If it never comes, it gets difficult when it gets down to the end to try to make up those passes to get back up to the front. It comes down to what if and what happened if you do that as the start of the season. You may find yourself in a deeper hole than you may have wanted.
Yeah, and those pushes are getting real aggressive. The 32 and 15 up on the top side. And man, Chad is really laying into him.
Yeah, he is sawing on it. That is not how you want to push someone. Chad Frankenfield literally sawing back and forth on the back bumper, and just thankful that both of them have good internet connections, because that usually will end up hooking and turning a driver when you go back and forth like that on the back bumper of someone. So thankful for Dustin Durr with his good internet connection. He's able to take that push and still be able to kind of get his way back up to the front of the pack here.
Yeah, and boy, I tell you, that duo on the bottom is going to be hard to beat for the rest of this race, though. Lake Norman Motorsports, Tyler Fode, R.C. Enerson. I mean, those are some of the most aggressive, quickest super speedway racers we got out here, but they got something to say about it up on the top.
Yeah, you see it back up on the top there. We have Scott Crump, one of those aggressive drivers. He's still trying to figure out how to get those last few positions there to get himself. Well, he's blinking now. Yeah,
he's hiding from you.
Yeah, I know. He's blinking in and out. That is not what you want to see at a super speedway package. Whenever bumping and being right on the back bumper of someone, their car going in and out like that. So he's going to need to hopefully have that start stabilizing on him if he wants to have anyone have any confidence pushing him tonight.
Oh, and he's going to have to hope that smooths out quick here because he's got race control on his back about it now. But, boy, oh, there he is. Okay, he's blinking out pretty bad now.
Yeah, that's not
so
good.
Race control will give him about a solid lap here, and if it stabilizes out, that's fine. If not, he'll have to bail out of the pack. But for now, it looks okay. So that's always one of the most frustrating things, isn't it? When your internet kind of sabotages you in the race, you know, not really much you can do about it.
Absolutely. But what that did do, though, is that lost all the confidence on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of drivers tucked back.
Lots of guys bailed out, but that could open up the door for some of those guys kind of hanging back there to maybe open up a lot of lanes for them to move forward.
Well, one of those drivers that looks like those drivers who was mentioned earlier, Dodge Robin, able to start pulling his way back up there. Goodman's now back up into the top 10 on that outside lane right behind Scott Crump. He's not feeling any kind of pressure or disconcerting notions being behind a blinker. So as you see, Scott Crump still blinking. So hopefully the race control either is able to talk him out of being up front or his internet connection stables out a little bit. But they're still side by side. But I'm seeing the laps that they can do on fuel is starting to come down. They've got to be able or start looking at pitting here in probably the next.
I was just gonna say, Gerald. I think I'm gonna. Surprisingly, you know, we've had this such long run, and I think we are getting close to it. I'm gonna go poke my nose down in one of the garages here, see if I can't get some numbers for us.
Yeah, absolutely. While Ethan Burrow there is gonna go ahead and try to see if we can get an idea when these drivers are pitting, if they're gonna be honest with us or not. You do see now that 32 is able to drop back down in front of Fody there. Was able to get clear and once again resume the race lead as new driver up at the top side, Ray Bracey in the number 7 is able to get pushed by Scott Crump and is actually going to lead his first laps of the night. So Ray's able to get up there with Scott Crump's help and able to push her way back up to the front as the girls back in here. Did you find anything out, Ethan?
Yeah, I got some intel out of the Pro Edge Racing camp. Shocker. It sounds like they think the leaders. Yeah, it sounds like the leaders are going to be pitting probably around 75, and I think we're going to see a lot of those Pro Edge Tundras pitting at 77. Oh, if we make it there.
Ray Bracey comes down and actually made contact with Dustin Durr there.
Boy, that almost threw strategy out the window. But yeah, about 75, 76, 77, I think we're going to see all these guys coming down pit road for their one and only stop to the end of this thing.
That's about 3 to 4 laps as you see a lot of the drivers trying to find a way to get down to the bottom to be able to make the pit stop. So you're going to see a lot of this outside lane start to disappear as they're going to try to find room to get down to the bottom in anticipation to be able to come down pit road. One thing we'll have to look at, make sure that we keep an eye on, is if anyone makes contact with anyone. Again, most drivers maybe not had practiced pit stops, live pit stops for under green. So gonna have to see who's able to master it. Again, this race has been a little bit different one as Scott Crump is able to get back to the bottom.
Scott Crump back to the front. How about that?
And you said Pro Edge is going to come around lap 75 to 77, so that's in the next 3 laps, and Pro Edge is about half the field, so yeah, we can now imagine that they'll be coming down, and it'd probably come down all together at one time. So
absolutely, and we all know just as good as anyone that's a recipe for disaster, isn't it, Gerald? You know, Daytona is one of the few tracks you don't really mind if there's not a green flag pit stop involved.
Yeah, it just adds more challenge, to be honest with you. And again, it's so difficult because when you come down pit road, is the guy behind you going to slow up at the same time as you do? Or is the guy in front of you going to lock up his brakes and turn sideways and you're going to slam into the side of him? There's so many what ifs and it's so difficult. And again, you put yourself in a position to go into the pits with a large group because you want to leave with a large group to be able to get back up into drafting again. As you see now, Dustin Durr dropping down as the lone driver to do his pit stop.
That's not what you want.
No, again, he was driving really hard, so maybe he used up more fuel than about any other driver and had to force himself down there. I doubt he wanted to go by himself, as when he comes back up onto the racetrack, he's going to have no help. His only hope is that everyone decides to pit this time around.
Yeah. Simultaneously, as he did that, his good buddy and teammate Michael Goodman ended up taking the lead and leading that lap, but Scott Crump with a big push from Ethan Stanley right back by him for the lead.
Yeah, we got a couple drivers now stating that they're going to be coming down pit road, so we're going to want to keep a wide angle view of this as we're going to see a few drivers starting to duck down. No, only one driver again. So again, these drivers are going to want to come down with the most amount of people when they do, just for the mere fact that they want to have drafting help. What that doesn't help is that does not help Goodman, or does not help Dustin Durr. Again, he's going to be riding around for a few laps by himself, going significantly slower than he would in a pack of trucks. So,
yeah. These super speedways like Daytona. I mean, if you're by yourself out there as opposed to kind of in the slipstream of the pack, I mean, you're 10, maybe even 15 miles per hour slower. So, if you're gonna pit, you gotta make sure you got friends with you.
Absolutely. Again, this is going to be a money stop right here. Green flag pit stops. This can end or make your race right here.
Comes Fody.
Only one driver.
Man.
Oh boy.
This is shaping up. I tell you what, Gerald, there's going to be a whole bunch of trucks pitting this next time.
Yeah, we're about to have a 30 truck pit right now, and that's not going to be pretty sight, I don't believe. If we don't have someone run into the back of them, then we truly do have the elite of elite drivers, if that's the case, because 30 trucks coming down all at one time, I don't even think in real life NASCAR that they would want to put themselves in that kind of position. But here we come. Again, it's kind of hold your breath to see who's coming down pit road or not as they come around turn 4.
Yep, this might get hairy here. We'll see. We're going to see all sorts of trucks diving down. Look at that.
Coming down. Yeah, we knew this was going to happen. 4 wide, 3 wide on pit road. Top chin.
Oh, no. Oh, Robin gets pushed off.
Robin had to go into the grass. I'm not quite sure who that
they're
was.
Still wrecking.
Truck now turned off the way in the grass.
Kyle Walgren.
Walgren turned around. We saw, looks like Tristan Wood got quite a bit of damage on his truck.
Got to imagine there's a black flag probably coming for that 8 truck, getting shoved into the grass.
For a few vehicles, I would believe, going backwards on pit road doesn't tend to make iRacing too happy. But we are seeing some of the drivers now able to leave pit road. This is what we were worried about. We knew some contact was going to happen. It's almost inevitable when you're going 4 wide into a tiny.
Here comes the rest of them. Those guys that stayed out that last time, now they're all coming down. Ooh, 00 looked a little quick getting down in there. We'll see.
Yeah, they were a little bit cleaner than the first group of guys. They were able to do it quite nicely. I would lead to believe that more than likely this group, the later you pit, the further up you will be once you come back up onto the racing groove once you go green again. That tends to be that the longer you stay out, the faster that group is that had stayed out than pitting early by yourself. So we're going to have to see now who's going to be leading the race, as we're going to have to keep an eye on these drivers coming out on pit road now.
Yeah, and a sore sight for now, Dustin Dewar, the only person in the area. Looks like he is maybe able to hang on to that pack of trucks up in front of him. And he's going to have to hope he can get up close to those guys, because otherwise he's got nothing out behind him, and his race would essentially be over without a quick yellow coming out.
2 drivers that worked really well on this pit cycle is Scott Crump and Michael Goodman. They did a heck of a job pushing each other. They kind of hooked up, and they left everyone. They absolutely left everyone. Very strange sight to see, just 2 trucks able to get, quite frankly, like about a 3-second lead over the rest of the field, as I think they're going to do a switch over so they're not overheating right now as you watch them kind of do a transition from one person pushing to the other person. They will
that's
eventually get
exactly
caught.
right.
Yeah, they're eventually going to get caught, though. There's no way 2 trucks outruns 30 of them.
Nope, not a chance. But man, that's what you call the money stop right there. I mean, all the marbles are on the line with your green flag stop. You know, they got enough fuel to make it to the finish of this race now, so they nailed it. I mean, they absolutely executed it perfect. Yeah, they're gonna get caught by that much bigger pack of trucks, but man, that's what it's all about right there. I mean, that's how you know you nailed the stop. But look at that. Look at this is the first time we've seen single file action behind them.
Yeah,
Like everyone's deciding, all right, we're gonna work together. We're gonna get to the lead, and then we're gonna fight it out.
Oh, they are catching those 2 trucks right there, close to 10 miles per hour quicker right now. As Trey Holmes, or looks like Timothy Holmes actually,
Yep, here we go.
is now going to jump to the outside with R.C. Anderson's help and Tyler Fode's help, and they should quite easily swallow up that 2-car pack. Isn't that kind of frustrating? Oh, as you see Timothy Holmes clear himself again. Very, very, very tightly there. Isn't that quite frustrating, though, whenever you and another driver get such a good stop that it actually was a detriment and you lose positions just because the pack was able to catch back up to you and swallow you because you did too good of a job on pit road?
Well, I'd have to imagine yes. I honestly couldn't tell you that I'm much of a pit stop guy on these plate tracks, but I would imagine that it's a little frustrating. I mean, but had that have been, you know, a less draft-dependent track, a race, I mean, they would have been sitting real pretty up out front where the rest of the pack couldn't just gang up on them like that. But here we are, back to racing.
Yeah, they were able to stay in the top 5, so didn't lose too many positions. But now we're seeing elite drivers that know each other start to work together versus drivers that they may not know too well, as looks like Tyler Fode and R.C. Anderson trying to get that outside lane running once again and trying to clear Timmy Holmes. I wonder if that's he's related to the other Holmes.
I actually do know the other Holmes, Trey Holmes, and I believe they are not. I believe that is just a coincidence.
Oh no.
So they might develop maybe a little friendly rivalry this season, or not friendly. You know, who's the better Holmes, right?
Yeah, I mean, who makes their home in the lead? So yeah. As you see, there's 2 packs right now. That back pack is about 3 seconds out from this front pack. They're working pretty well right now together. They're all single file. Their main goal is to, in this next 18 laps, to at least be right onto the back bumper and catch back up to them. As actually they're starting to gap them a little bit actually. So that second pack is going to have to really start to buckle up and work together to at least be able to get up here to have some kind of contention with this front pack.
And I see a couple Pro Edge Toyotas here grouping up. Tate Lytle, Daniel Martinez, they've been riding around all night. They must have been waiting for the big one. Well, now it's time to go. You know, they're running, 13th and 14th here, and they're trying to pick their way back through this field.
Well, shout out to the 8th place driver, Tom Bourne. Won our Truck Series Daytona race last season, and now finds himself back into the top 10 whenever the going gets hard. He's now up here in contention, deciding.
And that's a cool looking truck right there too.
Oh yeah. Those drivers, that team there always ends up coming out with a cool series of paint jobs. He's not got his teammates like he did last season, so he's not going to have the help that he had in race past. He's going to have to be able to go out and try to get the second W for his team at Daytona, all by looks like by himself.
Yeah, and pretty familiar sight out here, Lake Norman Motorsports 1-2. Everyone so far just kind of filed in behind him here, coming to 15 to go, but. Boy, look at that 92 truck, Ethan Stanley. He is up.
And the 56.
He is flying. Those guys are flying.
He's got a pretty well-known driver there, Tate Lytle, coming to the outside. Tate Lytle stayed in the back, wasn't running for points, I don't believe, this season. So he's been saving his truck, waiting for the perfect time. He's been known not to have a good luck at Daytona, but so far in the speed weeks, it's been quite the opposite. He's been very strong in the speed weeks for Daytona here, and here we go again with the late stages of this race coming across. We find Tate Lytle now running up at the front.
Yeah, and we saw a veteran move by the white and orange 40 truck, Tyler Fode there. He saw those guys coming with a big head of steam up on the high side. He jumped up. He didn't cut it close or anything, but he jumped up, kind of took that momentum himself, and now he's going to lead that charge. And I'd be willing to bet he's going to go ahead and clear this 50 truck here within the next lap or so.
Yeah, again, kind of another thing that would have probably happened is that you've got some very good and well-known elite drivers now starting to sort of work their way up to the front, and kind of showing why you have to run through this truck series to be able to run up into the Cup. Because if you want to be able to get into Cup, you're going to have to beat them in the truck series. As you got Tyler Fode, R.C. Anderson, Tate Lytle, Michael Goodman, Daniel Martinez, Scott Crump, Chad Frankenfield. They're all very experienced Cup drivers in Elite. They dropped down into the truck series for this race. So just to give you an idea of why you need to get through this truck series to race into the Cup, because the competition level in the Cup is so intense. They need to know that you can be able to compete against them, because if you're going to compete against them, that means you have to be competing up front here in the truck series for sure. Looks like R.C. Anderson able to get that bottom line rolling with the help of Timmy Holmes and that 67 right behind him, and Goodman behind him as well.
I'd like to highlight on camera, if we can, just for a moment, the 98 truck, Justin Minsel, and the 16 truck of Tom Bourne. I mean, those are some slick schemes, and looking at those schemes running nose to tail, I got to imagine those guys got to be teammates. There's no way their schemes are that extravagant just by chance, right?
I can take a look at it.
So Tom Bourne may not be alone out there. We do see rookie stripes on that Justin Munsell truck.
Give me a second to try to look up. Again, new faces and new teams, and trying to get a good idea. Unless if it was a late entry, no, they are not teammates. Tom Bourne's a part of Sky Motorsports, and well-known FRN. He does have one teammate, Joey Chapman, but I don't think Joey Chapman actually. Yes, Joey Chapman did make the race. He's running in 12th.
All right.
Actually, right behind him. So
yeah, look at that.
You were correct that he's running right with him, just not in front of him.
Other end of him.
Yeah, the other end of him. He does have a teammate. So yes, they find themselves Sky Motorsports once again trying to make a late run for it here as they come to 11 laps to go. On that bottom lane there. Again, so far this front grouping able to distance themselves from that back grouping of trucks.
And it's all three Fords, so I'm just going to imagine those three are got to be working together here. Oh, caution!
Is out. Our first actual race incident caution of the night coming practically 90 laps in. But real quickly, we're going to throw it over to David Huckleberry, and he's going to give us the Whiskey Cast replay of the race of this incident.
Looks like Sean Ryan is involved. A little bit of bump in there. He's in the middle of the 3 wide, and then he just gets turned into the outside wall. Up on his top.
Oh, no, that's our 32 truck, Dustin Dewar.
Oh, Dustin Dewar. This is what happens whenever you have a situation that pushes you in the back. Thank you, David, there for giving us that beautiful replay and bringing us this beautiful view of this entire race. Doing a heck of a job. But Dustin Dewar's truck there is not as pretty as the broadcast tonight. It is quite destroyed. And Dustin Dewar, that is heartbreaking with how well he's been running. Unfortunately, ran back there with drivers that maybe he didn't know quite as well, and unfortunately got involved. And looks like not too big of a wreck, but enough to cause us our first caution due to incident. And just gotta say, wow, it came very late in this race.
Yeah, and our first flip of the season too. Sean Ryan on his lid, And what a tough break for Dewar, but that just shows you how fast these races can get away from you. A bad call on the pit stop timing, kind of stranded him, made him lose all that track position, and then ends up in a bad spot and just a innocent bystander in that one, it looked like.
I don't feel like this is the last time this Speed Weeks that we'll see Dustin Dura up front. He's still got an Xfinity race and a Cup race left to go, and I believe he's going to be running in both of those. So, unfortunate for Dustin, but if it wasn't going to be a caution there in late in the run, he was way too far back to be able to make any kind of drive towards the front. Again, that's what we were worried about when he was one of the first ones to pit under green flag, is he was going to be caught out by himself, and you saw he was really far back there due to that. But you're seeing a couple drivers go down pit road, and it looks like Josh Robin, oh so close, almost got caught there going in, but was able to come back. And oh my goodness,
Whoa, what was that all about?
I have no idea who that is.
James Sauls, he stopped on the track.
Dame Sauls
Interesting.
just kind of came to a stop.
Maybe an equipment failure or something. I know sometimes if your wheel gets disconnected, all of a sudden you lose all power of everything. But who knows? Very interesting.
Heads up driving for Joshua Robin, not to run into the back of him as he's able to get back going again. But I don't know. They may.
It looks like he's back going.
They may let him take up his positions again.
Oh,
So
well,
you
he
might
is
listen
scored
to the
2
race
laps
control
down.
on that one.
And it looks like I'm not quite sure. Race control hasn't announced yet. There's a rule on Elite where if you lose control of your vehicle, you're not allowed to gain your positions back. But it wasn't a loss of control; just it came to a stop.
Yeah, and I'd have to imagine he's going to remain 2 laps down. It's what showing he's being scored right now. So
Is he 2 laps down? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I just thought he came to a stop to tighten up his seatbelts because
yeah,
10 laps to go.
it's going to be a wild ride here.
Yeah, absolutely. I just noticed that 28. I didn't know if that was a rule, but he's got a number on his backside there. I didn't even know you could have that in Elite there. First time we've seen Robert Hill or talked about him. Got an interesting paint job with a number on the back tailgate, or on the back quarter panel there.
How about that?
Yeah, I'd have
That's
to
a
find
pretty
out.
slick looking scheme right there, though.
It's a nice looking scheme. I don't know if the number is allowed to be on the back. We'll have to find out about that.
He moved it so far forward, it came out the other side.
Yeah, it's interesting looking. Again, Chad usually is pretty lenient on the first race, and then he'll crack down and get things situated to make things a little bit more even keel and make sure everyone's following the rules as far as how the trucks are supposed to look out there. But it's a good looking paint scheme. If he snuck it underneath Chad, all for him. Chad's on my no bucket list. Didn't
He may not appreciate all the screen time we're giving him right now. Then,
but we're going to be going. Looks like back green here.
Yep, we're gonna have an orchestrated start here. Tyler Fode's gonna lead us down, taking the top. You got to imagine he's gonna get the jump on RC, try to clear down in front of him, and then they're gonna do their best to try to control this race here as we get down to crunch time.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if I was Timothy Holmes, I would time that as well and use that against Tyler Fode there and try to, when he gets that run, to get that run as well, to be able to get to the outside of Fode. But we'll see here as the pace car comes down. We're going to have 7 laps, coming to 7 laps to go here as their green flag back in the air. And surprisingly, Tyler
Fode didn't get a good jump.
No,
that might have gone a ride.
That or R.C. Anderson decided that he wasn't playing teammates. But
well, we'll see here.
Get some help.
Yeah, he's getting a huge shove from Timmy Holmes there in the 67, so he may clear down the backstretch regardless. Now we'll see, though, how they're going to play this.
Yeah, we have to keep an eye on the rest of the field. This is coming down, and everyone's now stacked back up. You're seeing pushing and shoving harder than you've seen all night. As
Zielinski cuts at 3.
Yeah, is able to get down there now behind Fode. So now you got the outside lane there. Who is that? Is that Michael Goodman?
That's Michael Goodman leading.
Yeah, Michael Goodman. Oh, never mind.
Maybe not.
Boy. They're getting into each other there. It looks like everyone wanted the outside, and no one was able to give it up, except for it looks like actually, it looks like the number 7. Yeah, number 7 of, no, that's 67. 67 of Timothy Holmes, able to get to the outside, jumps in front of Goodman there. Is now going to be pushed by him with Scott Crump behind Goodman as we come down to 6 laps to go. I don't think we're done seeing contact here.
Oh, not a chance. These guys are only going to get more and more aggressive. Coming to 5 to go at the line this time. Goodman's doing all he can to try to keep Timmy Holmes up there, but that inside line's looking pretty strong right now.
Oh, I'm sure every driver out there, their heartbeat is going. This is time to go. This is the start of the season. This is how you get locked into the chase early on. You can go out and win Daytona, and then you don't have to worry about the next 10 races. You're already into the chase. The biggest thing of all, you win Daytona. That's a win in of itself. I mean, that's just that makes your year right there if you can go out and start the season at Daytona and get that win and W underneath your belt. But whoever's going to do it is going to have to race very aggressive, as you see. Now we got a couple drivers jumping to the outside lane.
Yeah, Levi Zielinski. Levi Zielinski pushed by his teammate Harrison Talon, Pro Edge Racing Toyotas. They're being aggressive. He knows it's go time. He's got to make something happen.
Yeah, we've got about 6 cars lined up onto the very outside lane.
Them. Look at that run.
Yeah, 3 lanes. We haven't seen that
all
night.
Oh, my goodness.
But here they are. A couple drivers jumping down to the bottom. I can't see
3 laps to go. Oh, my goodness. No, 4 to go. My apologies.
They are 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 and 3 all the way to the back there. This is fantastic racing. A lot of shoving as we got 4 laps to go. I don't think we're going to see a white flag. We're probably going to see some kind of yellow here because
there's no way these guys make it through this.
No
Boy, look
way.
at that. They got Josh Robin up in that high line as well. That's a good guy to have in your group here.
They don't know who's where. They're probably focused on gripping that steering wheel to keep it as straight as possible.
Look at that. Tyler Fode's cleared. Tyler Fode's cleared. Does he try to block? Nope, too late. Can't do it. Too much of a run in the middle lane there.
Which lane is going to be the advantage? We see the 3rd lane kind of breaking up just a little bit and lose momentum as you just can't hold your breath for that long being onto the outside. Again, just fantastic racing. Everyone wants it. As we are 3 laps to go, coming down the back straightaway, and still 3 wide, as you see these drivers giving it all they've got.
Oh, Goodman getting a little out of line. Oh, here they go. Oh, contact.
Contact.
There they go, wrecking.
Turned around in front of the field.
Oh, man.
Down. Robin is crashing and over. It looks like Scott Crump is also involved. They are still collecting up. Oh, a lot of drivers out. R.C. Anderson is absolutely destroyed.
Crump blown up. Man, it looked like maybe Goodman just got a little out of shape, maybe a bad bump. I know we'll have to have Dave break it down for us here on the Whiskey Cast replay.
Okay, it looks like it starts out with Justin Bentley in the middle of the pack there. And then it's just mayhem from there on out.
No one able to find a groove to be able to escape it, as it blocks the entire field, even down to the grass. As, oh boy, again, there was no way that they could keep that up. It was surprising that they were able to get that far along as they did. Just incredible racing, but unfortunately, all it takes is just one bad bump, and with how close the trucks are, there's just nothing you can do at that point.
Yeah, and we just got the call from race control. They're calling net code between the 00 and the 44. So the 00 was that black truck leading the far outside line, and the net code, you know, we talk about it all the time for you viewers that might not be as familiar. It's kind of just like, think of it like a little glitch in the racing sim where it kind of acts like 2 trucks came together, but they didn't actually hit. So just one of those things we have to deal with that pops up and gets us sometimes. But I tell you what, Gerald, you know, we kind of expect that, you know, 3 wide, 5 rows deep at the end of a Daytona race. And man, we were talking about when that big one was going to happen. Well, all day we were talking about it, and they gave it to us with 2 laps to go.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can get an onboard as well. Maybe like Kyle Walgreen, one of those drivers that was deep in the pack there, and you can just get an idea of when the big one happens. It's just so difficult to decide on what you're going to do, as he's able to get through it, and it is mainly just by slowing down a bunch. See if we can get back there with some drivers and that can give you an idea of just the craziness that ensues whenever the carnage it starts
Oh
up.
boy, look at that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, actually, he does not make it
Not a
through.
lot, not a lot you can see or do there. I mean, you know, he's got the brakes to the floor, but I mean, you're pushing close to 200 miles per hour. There's just no way you can get slowed down in time.
Yeah, it's just shrapnel at that point. All the trucks just end up becoming shrapnel as they get thrown around, and just ends up causing just a domino effect, and just throws them all across the track, and you just kind of lose track as to who's in front of you and where to go, as you just kind of pick a lane and guess if that's going to be your saving grace, and you kind of live by that at that point. But this is going to be our first green-white-checkered. There's still quite a few trucks still out there. Looks like most of our front runners are still out there. Tyler Fody, Timothy Holmes, Levi Lazinski is up there now into third.
Yeah, how about that?
And look, another driver we haven't mentioned all night, Harrison Talon, is in fourth, and Goodman able to survive it to stay into fifth. So
Yeah.
this is kind of what we were expecting maybe would have happened, at some point in the race, where you see the front of the pack wreck, and you have this kind of filter effect where newer drivers that newer names that you haven't stated work their way up to the front. Just it happened at lap 99 as to when that occurred. But as the pace lights are out, they're going to line themselves up, and we're going to have a new contender of drivers to battle it out here, as there is still quite a few trucks to be able to contend for this victory here at Daytona.
Yeah, and there's been comers and goers, but I mean, Michael Goodman, Timmy Holmes, Tyler Fody, but I do want to highlight Michael Goodman does have quite a bit of damage on that truck from that incident. So though he may be scored up in fifth right now, we'll see what the speed's looking like. But Harrison Talon, Levi Zelensky, I mean, these are guys that really capitalize big, and that kind of highlights how much of just a crapshoot this race can be. You know, I mean, there's only so much you can do in these speedway races to try to put yourself in the best position you can, but sometimes the winner needs a little bit of luck on their side, and some of these guys squeaked through that wreck, and they're going to have a shot to go for this win as we approach our first out of 3 potential green-white-checkered finishes here.
Well, we're down now to 26 trucks on the lead lap, as that collected up quite a few vehicles involved in that wreck. A lot of them may be back out there, but they're going to be nowhere near in contention with the amount of damage. But right now, what we see up in the front here, again, may not end up being the drivers that end up finishing in the front. We have to wait and see if these drivers are able to keep it clean, as they got 2 laps potentially to be able to end this first race of the season, as green flag is out and Fody is able to get going, and a really good start, almost a jump there by
I'm not sure if, will race control do something about that. It definitely looked like a jump,
and Tyler Fody is left out to dry, as everyone
yellows out,
and there is a caution.
Now, boy, this might be detrimental for that 67's race, because if race control does deem that a jump start, and now we're under caution, I'd have to assume he's going to get put all the way back to the end of this pack.
Well, we're going to go back to the Whiskey Cast replay with David Huckleberry and see what exactly happened. Is you can see here, a few cars already going around.
Yeah, it looks like William Harrington in the 66 car got into Tristan Wood. Jump over to Tristan. Yeah, it's kind of the aftermath. Hits it at the end.
I was worried about you, David, if I was going to even be able to throw it back to you at any point in this race.
Right.
It was getting close to the end of the race, and I was wondering if anybody was going to actually hear from you. But now that we get closer to the end of this race, you might be talking more than we are.
Hey, luckily I caught a nap during the beginning, so I'm all right.
And what a tough break for Timmy Holmes. He's been so stout all night. He does get called for jumping that start there and starting the race off before the leader. He's going all the way to the back of the line.
As we noted, he got quite a big jump there on Fody and was actually even about a half a car length ahead of him as they got to the flag stand, and that's a no-no in elite. You gotta let that leader get there first, and you just can't do that. Nerves and so much going into Daytona. You know, he wanted to be able to make sure that he was going to have that outside lane going. He wanted to get it rolling so that way he could get in front of Fody, but unfortunately timed it wrong. We saw that earlier in the day, in real life with, what was that? Was that Dylan, Ty Dillon?
Yeah.
He jumped the start, and you just gotta be careful. You know, there's so much that will come down to the end of this and this Daytona race that will prove if you were worthy enough to win it, and you just got to be perfect at the end of it all.
Yeah, and this is that. Even though the 67 got a penalty for that start, I mean, it still opened up the door for Talon, and Talon capitalized on it. Talon was the one pushing him on that start, and he actually got scored as the leader ahead of Tyler Fody. So while the 67 got a penalty, Talon capitalized big from that. So he's going to control this start, and I can't help but mention he's going to have a teammate on his back bumper on this start.
And Levi Lazinski in third place. Again, we've seen his struggles up and down, and he's now running into third position. Fourth position is Ethan Stanley. And our stage 1 and 2 winner has now found himself up into fifth place.
Oh,
Zachary
man.
Roethlisberger. We were wondering where he was at. He's now found himself up there with his teammate, Fred Anderson, now running in sixth position. Goodman still with the damage, still running in seventh. We would believe he's probably going to drop even further from there. Tate Lytle still very much in contention, running in eighth position. And Ray Bracey in the 7, running in ninth. Brody Moore in 10th. Dylan Jones in 11th. Joey Chapman is in 12th. Joshua Personette, another driver we haven't really talked about. He's running the full season this year. He's running back in 13th, just trying to make sure he capitalizes. And it looks like 25th will be Joshua, or in 14th, Joshua Freed in that 25 car. And Zach Evans, who was lapped out earlier, got lucky dog and has now found himself up into 15th. So might be a Twitch broadcast you might want to go back and rewatch. His day has been all over the place as well with how it's been eventful for him.
Yeah, what a night for Zach Evans. But I mean, this Daytona season opener can be a race of attrition, and I hope those racing gloves are still close to him, because I'm sure he's thrown them around a couple times tonight. But he's got to get them strapped back up again here. And but boy, back up front, I mean, it's Pro Edge Racing teammates first and third. But I mean, I would hazard to guess that Fody and that 92 of Ethan Stanley have probably worked together quite a bit more than Talon and Zielinski. So I think it's going to be hard to bet against that 40 truck. He's a veteran. He knows his way around this track. Multiple wins here. But it's just proven, you know, in this series, you're going to have to beat the best of the best if you're going to win.
Yeah, even in the truck series, which would be considered our starting point for anyone getting into elite, you still get quality top drivers jumping down in there to compete with you. So you still get the level of intensity, even in the beginner series that you see. You still have to compete against drivers like Fody, who is a multiple champion. Even in trucks here, he's won championships before. So again, it's just the competitiveness of this this series is just going to bring for the rest of this season. You're just going to have to, if you want to win, you're just going to have to go out and beat the best. That's just how it is. But the pace car lights are off, and they will be coming down pit road here as they come around turn 4. Will this be the end? Will 2 laps complete before our caution comes back out? Will we have a new winner for the season? Or are we going to have a winner from a previous champion? Well, here they go. Harrison Talon gets it rolling on that bottom side, and it looks like Fody's able to stay onto the outside. So the 92 is going to get right onto his back bumper. They are going to be 2 by 2 all the way into the third row. Oh, looks like a little
big
bit of
block
fight
by
back
Lytle.
there.
Yeah, they're trying to fight for what line they want to be in, but man, Zielinski all over his teammate's back bumper, trying to push him out there. If we make it back to the white flag, we will end this race at the checkers. And right now, Talon, barely a truck out front. Bodie's calling for a push from Ethan Stanley, saying, come on, man, give me a push, get me up there, let's go. And he gives it to him here, coming into turn 3, looking for the white flag. Teammates on the inside. The veteran and championship winner, Tyler Fody, leading the outside. This is going to get good here off of turn 4. Oh, contact!
The wall is able to keep it straight. But if we get the white flag as we do right now, no matter if we do see carnage, they will be racing it all the way back to the checker flag line. So regardless as to what happens, the whole field could wreck for all we know. It all determines on who gets back to the flag stand, as there is white flag on the air. It looks like Harrison Talon getting quite a good
Lyle shoves the 92 out of line. That's going to slow down Tyler Fody.
He's going to be on the back of Fody. They're going to have such a run. Fody's on to the outside of him. Is he going to clear him going into turn 3? Oh, they make contact.
They save it. What a save by Tyler Fody.
They keep it going straight. It looks like
Zelensky, Talon. It's going to be a Zelensky or Talon. Here we go. Will Zelensky make the move?
He's going to go to the outside. It's going to be a drag race to the finish line. They're side by side spinning. Zelensky!
Zelensky! In his return to the Elite Racing League, he wins the season opener at Daytona. Incredible.
Teammate. They come
incredible.
Out he makes a last-ditch effort to get to the outside, able to side draft him all the way to the checker flag line, and gets him by a nose over Harrison Talon. Great racing as they crash across the line. But to start off the season for Zelensky, he will be a Daytona winner.
Unbelievable. He's been gone from the Elite Racing League for 2 seasons. He comes back, and boy, what a way to return. A 3-wide finish to win the season opener. Locks himself into the chase. Man, what a thrilling race it was tonight. That was incredible.
3-wide finish there you saw coming across the line. Pro Edge gets first and second. Levi Zelensky in first. And then Harrison Talon in second. And Tyler Fody made a ditch effort to try to get to him on the outside. But it looks like Levi Zelensky pushes him into the wall just enough to be able to come across the finish line. The results show Levi Zelensky winning by 0.02 of a second over his teammate Harrison Talon.
And here he rolls, slow roll down the front straightaway, and boy, you know he's been missing this. He's no stranger to victory lane in the Elite Racing Leagues, but it has been a long time, but here he is, right back at it in his winning ways.
Yes, we noted that he came from the back of the pack to the front on multiple occasions. We said it was going to be a person that ran it clean and smooth all the way through the end, but he put himself in a little bit of a pickle early on, but he was able to come back, and he comes and he wins at Daytona for his team. And again, he was pushing his teammate. As soon as he cleared the third place driver, he jumped to the outside and was able to make that wonderful move out of 4 to be able to nose ahead in front of Harrison Talon. But what a fantastic start of the season. We're going to have a rundown of our results here. I'm going to kick it back over to Dr. Campbell here, and she's going to give us our top our finishing results here of the race. That's not actually the results there. Hold on. That's the qualifying results. There we go.
All right. So our race winner tonight is Levi Zelensky, followed by Harrison Talon in second place, Tyler Fody coming in third, Brody Moore in fourth, Tate Lytle in fifth, Josh Freed in sixth. Seventh place goes to Timmy Holmes. Eighth place, Ray Bracey. Ninth, Zach Evans, followed by Joey Chapman in 10th, Ethan Stanley in 11th, Joshua Personet in 12th, Jack Roethlisberger in 13th, Dylan Jones in 14th, and rounding out the top 15, we have Daniel Martinez, followed by Fred Anderson in 16th, Michael Goodman in 17th, Tyler Dixon in 18th, Tom Bourne in 19th, and Cole Mickritt coming in 20th. Then we have Justin Munsell in 21st, Josh Stoltz in 22nd, Dustin Dewar in 23rd, Alex Balvans in 24th, Robert Hill Jr. in 25th, James Sauls 26th, Justin Bentley 27th, Scott Crump 28th, William Harrington 29th, and Tristan Wood in 30th. Then we have Chad Frankenfield in 31st, Kyle Walgren in 32nd, 33rd place goes to R.C. Anderson, 34th, Josh Robin, 35th, Sam Bootwell, 36th, Sean Ryan, 37th, Trey Holmes, 38th, Brendan Madonia, 39th, Chad Thornquist, and 40th, Robert Morrison.
Thank you so much there. That runs out our field there. And again, what a fantastic race. To give you an idea, it looks like the top 12 drivers all finished within a half a second of the leader. Half a second separated first through 15th at the finish line. That just is unbelievable, Ethan, to have just such close racing. And really, honestly, that pile up didn't happen until they crossed the finish line. They were just shoving, pushing tonight, and just what a show.
Yeah,
What a-
unbelievable.
what a
And
show.
I mean, you see racing like that, you think, okay, how many cautions was there? Well, not really that many. I mean, we had one big one, but man, that was something. And I mean, I'm not sure if we have that data or not, but I would have to imagine that might have been Zelensky's one and only lap lead of the night.
Yeah,
That was just incredible execution. I mean, Harrison Talon, and Levi did everything right. Pushing your teammate that last restart, and the C's part for you, and you go for the move off of 4 and beat him outright. I mean, what a night of racing. I mean, this is a great season, or great season opener, and I can't wait for what the rest of the season has in store for us.
Well, let's bring up our third place driver, Tyler Fody here. I'm going to bring him in real quickly, and then we'll get a rundown of what he saw from his point of view here. Tyler Fody, good finish of third place for your Link Mormon Motorsports team there. Give us a rundown when you came out of turn 4 and you went 3 wide for the race win there. It's such an exciting event. I love to hear from your perspective.
Yeah, it was pretty fun getting out there. I don't run too many of these anymore, but I try to make the whole Daytona week. Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Even going before we came out of turn 4 down the back, it was looking pretty awesome for us. I saw Tate make the move up the middle, coming up in the mirror, and pretty much felt like we had it locked down. But the way the bumps were coming and the pushes were tonight, every time you got locked, the truck would get way upset and just start wandering. So Tate got to my bumper there. We were rolling, and it just started to wander out from underneath me a little, and I guess we hooked a little in the left rear. Got us upset a little bit, and Tate had to back off, and then we were just trying to hold on there, pinching Harry, but he had Levi pushing him. And then, yeah, coming off the corner, I thought maybe Levi and Harry would start to rub doors some more and pull each other back, which they did a little bit and had the top opened up. And I think if we didn't get run all the way up into the wall there, it would have been way closer between the three. But, I mean, it was a good race. Just happy to be out here.
Yeah, Fody, and we were kind of mentioning it all night that, having you out there and as stout as you were, controlling a big chunk in this race with RC Enerson up there as well. We were kind of mentioning how if anyone was going to show up and win this thing, they were going to have to beat the best of the best here. So I think you play a massive part in that. So what was the atmosphere out there on the track? A lot of new faces out there. So just how was the racing overall throughout the night?
Yeah, early on it was a little weird. You got a lot of newer guys, especially running in this series. So I mean that was something. I think I started like 8th or 9th, pretty much out edge of the top 10. And the first 2 stages, I mean, none of the lanes wanted to really get rolling. So we just kind of sat there the first 2 stages. And really, I think everyone was just kind of feeling each other out with all the new faces. And for the most part, we did really good. Actually, I don't even think we had a yellow to the last 20 or so laps. That was from an incident. So, yeah, I mean, the first half was kind of just riding, and then got some track position through the pit stops. And from there, we did what we could. So, I mean, it was a fun time. And I'll probably be back for a few more races this season.
Awesome. Well,
Fantastic.
yeah, man, it's good to hear from you, of course, up here in the broadcast booth, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from you quite a bit the rest of this week here because you take to the high banks on Monday and Wednesday. So before we let you go, I mean, you got any shout outs for us?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, just Tyler Dixon and this whole race really, being the Randy Dixon Memorial. It was awesome just to get out here. I'm happy to be running Dixon smoked meats on the car. Haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I heard that's really good. So definitely check that out. And yeah, just you guys for being up in the booth. I'm sure the broadcast is going to be pretty awesome to watch back. And yeah, we'll go forward here. Maybe try and steal a couple this week. Who knows? But definitely be back a couple times on these Sunday nights.
Again, congratulations for your third place. Again, we're probably not going to see the end of you for Speed Weeks, unfortunately, for Ethan and I. But congratulations on third, and again, thank you for joining us for tonight and putting it on the show you did.
Yeah, appreciate it, Gerald. Thank you.
All right, we're going to bring up our leader coming out of turn 4, and unfortunately lost it over to his teammate, but still a fantastic run here for Harrison Talon. Didn't quite beat your teammate there at the finish line, but just got to say that was a heck of a run, and I'm sure both of you guys are both proud of what you guys were able to accomplish here tonight. Give us a good idea of what it took to get up there with your teammate.
A really steady wheel and the throttle pinned to the floor. Really, I think we did a really good job the entire race of sticking together as a group. Sticking to a game plan. Coming into the race with a game plan. We were gonna ride around in the back a little bit and just try to preserve our cars, our trucks. And at the end of the race, just make a go for it. And it worked pretty perfectly for the two of us. But we just came up one spot short tonight. Yeah, great race overall though. Really fun out there.
Yeah, and Harry, I just wanted to say congrats, man. I mean, what a drive, and as involved as I am with Pro Edge Racing, I mean, I didn't really know much of your guys' game plan out there, but I kind of noticed you guys were kind of riding around just off the lead pack. It was pretty crazy racing up there, but I mean that 3 wide move you guys made when Levi, I think, jumped up to the high side and you were giving him the shove up there. I mean, what was kind of the game plan behind that? Was it kind of just acting on impulse like from Levi? Were you guys kind of planning to do that, or kind of how did that huge run come about up on the fence there?
Yeah, we were playing it about for a few laps there before it actually came about. Just trying to measure up runs on the backstretch, going into corners, what seems right to be most effective, getting past them. And yeah, I told him, I said, hey, if they do check up just a littlest bit, just go for it, and I'm right behind you. If we wreck, we wreck. I don't care. I wanna at least make the effort to go for it and stuff. And we went for it. It was a really good run. I must say, I can't wait to watch that back. That was a really good run. That felt really good in the truck. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have a good time watching it back later, man. Me and Gerald were bouncing up and down up here, but we'll go ahead and let you give us some shout outs, and we'll let you go back into the team chat and celebrate with your guys.
Yeah, I just want to thank all my friends and family for all their support. Of course, Pro Edge Racing for taking me on in the truck series. Running fueled up on the other sides of racing here in Elite, but thankful for the opportunity Pro Edge gave me. So can't thank all them. Can't I gotta thank Dixon, Randy's. This race was a Randy Dixon's memorial. So I think a really good event put on tonight. I thank all the sponsors that support the league as well, and you guys for always putting on good broadcasts that we could watch back after the event.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
for
gonna
sure.
definitely want to watch back that finish there. That was an incredible finish, and hopefully we'll see more finishes like that out of you for the rest of the truck season. We'll definitely be broadcasting and watching it, and again, hopefully we'll get you back up here again, Harrison.
Alrighty, thank you guys.
That was Harrison Towner, second place, and we're gonna bring up Levi Lazinski, a driver that probably feels just at home coming back into elite, going straight to victory. Levi Lazinski, you were not in first coming out of turn 4, but by the time you got to the finish line, you did everything you needed to, and you got the checker flag at Daytona. Tell us the feelings, the excitement levels, everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I did not expect to be even close to where I'm at right now. I didn't even expect to win a race this year. So to come back first race and be able to win at Daytona, that's pretty amazing. I was pretty shocked and probably was yelling quite a bit in the room with the guys, but I can't believe it. I've won so many times at Daytona and still feels like the first time every time I've won. I think this is number 6 now at Daytona for an opener, which is amazing. Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, awesome job out there, and you have a nickname around the garage area. Levi Rowdy Zielinski, and I mean, some of those moves you had to make were plenty rowdy out there. I mean, just I asked Harrison a little bit about it, but just tell me about that big move you guys made. You guys were kind of playing it pretty conservative, it looked like, but man, when you guys jumped up to the fence and that 3 wide move and made all those passes with that huge run and just barely slipped that big crash that happened. I mean, just walk me through that whole chunk of the race right there.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing first and second half. I wanted to be up front to get the points just in case something happened. So I was a little bit ballsy to begin with, but settled down until the last, 15 laps. And I told Harrison, I was like, "You're either gonna have to come with me or not." And I was like, "I'm gonna make a hole and I'm gonna make it work." And we ended up the middle didn't hold like we did the first time to get there. So we had to go high. So we went all the way against the wall, and man, did we have some momentum. Pushed us right up there, the almost first place right then and there, and we just held there since. It was pretty wild, 3 to 4 laps running three by three by three. It was insane. I, that's the move that put us in the place to give us this opportunity to win, and I can't thank Harrison enough for that.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a lot of gutsy driving out there, man. The whole end of the race, like you said, that 3 wide pack and man, what an epic finish. You clear Fody coming off a 4, jump up next to Harrison, end up 3 wide middle across the line, but man, what an awesome job out there. Before we let you go back to celebrate, and we'll give you a chance to thank who you got to thank, give any shout outs you got to give, but man, congrats on the big win here.
Yeah, thank you guys. Obviously, thank you guys first and foremost for being in the booth. I appreciate it. I appreciate Chad and everything he's done for the league, and letting me come back for the second time around. It's pretty amazing. Obviously, gotta thank sponsor Speed Energy. Does an amazing job. We brought it back because it was our 2018 ride and sponsor. So we decided to go that route again and kind of pay tribute to what we were in 2018. And I think we kind of started off right. Obviously, I'd like to thank Ethan for bringing me back to Pro Edge. That was the only team I would have went for. Otherwise, it would have been Rebel Racing. But I appreciate him bringing me on board with the Pro Edge guys. It feels amazing to have like a team on that end. And yeah, Michael Skinner for making this game tonight. Yeah, and I think that's all I have.
Well, that's all you need. That was enough to get you the win. Now you're locked in. And now you can go for a championship, and you got no pressure. All you got to do now is just kind of focus on enjoying yourself as you get prepared for the chase at the end of this season here. But 10 races until then. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you back up here once again, Levi. Fantastic finish. Good showing at the end of that, and go home and celebrate this because you're a Daytona winner once again.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Well, that was your winner there. Get some final thoughts here, Ethan. Only one driver that finished in the top 10 started in the top 10. So
Oh yeah.
uh, what a crazy race. Harrison Talent started 33rd. Levi Lazinski started 27th. You can come from anywhere at Daytona, and what a race for Randy Dixon's memorial race. I mean, if you wanted a good Daytona race, this gave you way better than just good. This was a fantastic Daytona race, a fantastic start of the season to give us a lot of hope as to what this season's gonna bring us. But next time we'll be out here, we'll be at I believe the next race is Southern National, and that will be on the 27th of this month, and then we'll go to a dirt track of Lanier on the 6th. So we got a few weeks now before the next truck race, but I'm pretty sure this had enough excitement that will hopefully hold us over until later on this month. Again, 10 races for this chase, one down, 9 to go, one driver locked in, Levi Linsinski, and a lot of drivers either needing to find a way to gain more points to get themselves into a better position, and others that want to continue the good, strong run that they've started here at Daytona. Any final thoughts you had, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, just like you highlighted, I mean, this is really the perfect Daytona race. I mean, we had long green flag racing, we had tons of side by side. It never really got very single file. I mean, heck, we even had a cycle of green flag pit stops, even with the two stages. So, and I mean, those last 10 laps were just ridiculous. I mean, three wide, probably about 5 rows deep, fighting and clawing for the win. I mean, just incredible. Lots of promising young talent in the series, lots of veterans out there, and Levi Zelensky, making his return after years away from the Elite Racing League. And yeah, what a race for the Randy Dixon Memorial. I mean, a big shout out to Tyler Dixon, the premier sponsor of this series, Dixon's Barbecued Smoked Meats. So big shout out to the Dixon family. Thank you guys for all the support of this series, and man, what a season this is going to be after a start like that.
Definitely a Daytona race to remember. I like to thank you, Ethan, co-commentator here tonight. Thanks to David Huckleberry for bringing us this wonderful broadcast here and being able to push the buttons to be able for us to call and see these beautiful trucks going around the racetrack and bring in all the excitement to your guys' television. Thanks to my beautiful and lovely wife, Dr. Erica Campbell. She did a fantastic job. Can't wait to do more races this season together with her and David, and maybe Ethan might stop by from time to time and be able to call more of these races. And if they're anything like tonight, the races will fly by because the excitement will be on. This won't be the last Daytona race. The Speed Weeks is still continuing on until next tomorrow. Actually, on Monday, you'll have Elite back here at Daytona with the Elite Xfinity Series, and then also on Wednesday we'll also have the Cup Series here at Daytona. They will be in the Gen 7 car, so a lot of more Daytona racing, a lot more carnage, a lot more excitement, and hopefully a lot more great racing that we saw like here tonight. I like to thank you. This is Gerald Campbell. I appreciate you tuning in to watch this. You have a wonderful night. And again, we'll see you back here on the 27th to be able to see more Fantastics Dixon Meets Truck Series. Again, thank you and have a wonderful night.